Mom's Jimmy. Welcome to the pre-show Friday night. Prime time. Be right with you.
Shazam!
The genie of funk. Everybody get down. You guys there? Epic Journeyman Rock and Rio. Are you there?
I am here, man. Don't be talking about genies with me, man.
Hang on a second. What'd you say?
You let that genie out of the bottle?
I did.
Yeah, see, don't be talking about genies around me, man. Yeah, that's like that's my thing. Not genies.
Do you dream of genie?
I definitely would dream of that particular genie. Yes, Barbara Eden. She was hot, and the brunette sister that was really her with the brunette wig. Oh, best thing ever on TV, honestly. So, yeah, but no. I mean, I have that whole Sinbad genie movie experience. So, anytime I hear a genie, it triggers me.
Just remember, don't play with the bottle too much, because the cork will pop.
Right. Well, around Barbara Eden, probably.
Yeah.
I am the genie of funk. It's time to get down. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get your intros together. I am toast. Everybody over here at Hey Bernays, what's happening? Going on, Smurfer? What's up, John? I'm toast, man.
Yeah, apparently there's like this big giant storm system coming in full of sleep gas, man. All of us are coming in tired today, man. You heard the expression coming in hot. We're all coming in cold, like, man, I'm tired, man. What the hell? It's Friday night, too. It's a long weekend, too, so we should be amped up about it. Should be happy about it.
I know.
Well, it's a long weekend for the normal folk, for the government employees.
Well, I guess right. I guess that's right.
Yeah, we don't get those extraneous holidays.
Dude, I worked till 10 o'clock the other night, starting at 7. Then I worked on Super Bowl Sunday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one because hopefully I'll get some days off. But I'm glad to be there, man. I'm glad to be there when there's people that, would love to be in the same position I am right now. So I don't take it for granted. I don't mind. But, man, and John Ellis says it's Lunar New Year today. That's a fact. Thanks for bringing that up. It is. It's a Chinese New Year today, and Firecracker Chicken is at the Panda Express,
So does that mean the Chinese people are going to go back to work soon?
No, they got like 2 weeks, right? They got 2 weeks off, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. It's like a month-long holiday for some of these people.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't it like the week before and the week after?
I think you're right. I think it starts ahead of time and then it goes after. If in fact, if I was on the Big Island right now, there'd be fireworks going off all over the place. It's like you've never seen anything like it, man. New Year's Day, any excuse to do fireworks because they sell like big giant fireworks, like professional fireworks on the Big Island with no license or anything, and everybody just goes amok on New Year's Eve, Chinese New Year, and of course 4th of July. And it's totally like a war zone, a combat zone in my neck of the woods, man. The Coqui frogs shut up for a change because there's too much smoke and noise going on. It freaks them out, which is a good thing. But yeah, I'm telling you, it's like Saving Private Ryan who just tried to go across the yard.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still waiting for a video card, so I'm hoping they get back to work soon.
It's still, you know what? The cryptocurrency is starting to come down a little bit, so all those crypto miners are not going to be buying them up as much, hopefully.
Hang on a second. Stand by.
Who's that?
A free TurboTax live tax expert.
Why do you need a tax expert?
His advice is free, and I can file for free.
Stand by. Okay, I'm all set, I guess. I mean, I got nothing. I haven't got your intro. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who's messaging you like a madman?
It's
over there?
Bruce.
Oh, well, tell him to just join us.
That's what I said. He doesn't want to. He's taking 2 weeks off to finish his book. You guys got to jump in here because I got to do some shit here.
Well, he took 2 weeks off, but he did his show this morning, right?
Yeah, because my power was out. I was supposed to do it for him. My power was out, didn't come back, so he jumped in, and then I jumped on when my power came back. Hang on a second.
So it's Year of the Ox. I was going to say Year of the Bull. I was close. It's Year of the Ox this year. So if you're born this year or within 12-year cycles of this year, you are in the Year of the Ox. You can look up all the cool Chinese New Year stuff about what it means to be born in that year. I'm like a prima donna because I'm born in the Year of the Dragon, so I got that going for me. Not that it really means anything, but it's cool.
So yeah, what it's the Year of the Fox this year? Is that what's coming?
Year of the Ox.
Year of the Ox.
Yeah.
What is the significance of the ox? Do you know? I'm not sure.
I'm gonna look it up right now. So we got a couple minutes to see what they each are. Like they have a breakdown of what each one's supposed to mean. So this is the Year of the Ox, and I don't want to watch these lame videos. They're gonna try to link me to, so I'm gonna avoid that. I know some of them. I know the dragon one just because that's me, right? And I know the rat and the monkey because my girlfriend was a monkey. Yeah. So the here we go. The ox is hold on. It's gonna be the last one. Seriously, there's pig, dog, rooster, monkey, goat, horse, snake, dragon, rabbit, tiger, ox. The second of the zodiac signs, an ox is said to have an honest personality. People born in the year of the ox are known for being diligent, dependable, strong, and determined. They'll find it difficult to communicate. Lucky colors, white, yellow, green. Recent years, 2021, 2009, 1997. You can go back 12 years every year from 1997. And so it'd be what 1985 and 1973 and so on.
It's
A boy went back to Napoli because he missed the scenery, the native dancers, and the charming songs. But wait a minute, something's wrong. But wait.
All right.
I could go back to Napoli. I'd like to go back to Napoli. It's a nice place.
Have you been there? Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
So when I went there the first time, Naples specifically, it was horrible. Not because the town was a horrible city. I mean, like the Bay of Naples, they just dumped everything in there. It was like this. You could walk across the water without being Christ, because it was just full of trash. And like it was in the 80s, early 80s, and they had remember the Pat Benatar video, Wars for what's it called? But anyway, the video was where they had the girls all dancing in the streets with the bonfire. And anyway, that's based on the campfire girls, they called them, which were these prostitutes that lived in the streets of Naples, and they would throw boxes and their trash out the windows, and they would burn the trash in the streets and just camp out at night. Campfire girls, they called them. And I was like, what the hell is this place? And in a day, driving around was like this maniacal thing, like a roller coaster ride to go anywhere. They didn't obey traffic signs. If it was red, just meant punch it and go faster. right? And
Italians have a different way of driving, that's for sure.
right, for sure. But I went back there like 5 years later, wasn't that long later, because the government's changed. And for people who don't know, Italy has like 100 political parties, man, and they change governments like we change our clothes. And so I go back there like 5 years later, 1987. I was out in the Navy, and I was there with the company I was working for, chasing submarines around. And I was telling everybody how terrible it was there, and it was freaking awesome. It was all cleaned up. It was beautiful. It was nice. And the only consistent thing was Vesuvius was always rumbling and having smoke coming out the top. The distance you can see it. It just dominates the landscape, Mount Vesuvius, which is where, it's famous for the eruption that put all those people in ash and saved them for posterity, right? So it's a trip. And it's definitely worth going. I mean, and the boot of Italy is particularly just awesome if you could see it from the waterfront. Like going by Stromboli and around the boot, those little islands around there, it's crystal clear water, aquamarine, and in the mist in the morning, like hovers above the sea and above the little mountaintops. You see these little islands in the distance, and it totally looks mystical. It's the only way to describe it, and it's very much like you could just imagine being Homer writing the Iliad and the Odyssey. And these are the gods, on the islands and the Sagittars and all these things. You can just see the imagination taking root, if you were a sailor back then, sailing across that portion of the Mediterranean. Totally get that vibe, So it's awesome. It's definitely worth going.
Oh yeah, I remember we had like one of the best days ever on one of the tours we had a day off, and we were in this little tiny town, and right on the Mediterranean. I kind of roamed around all these, these unique little shops and whatever. And went out and sat on the beach and drank fruity drinks with little umbrellas in them, and watched the sailboats go by. And it was like perfect weather, perfect everything. It was wonderful. It was just such a nice experience. The scenery was nice, the air smelled good. What you could see in the distance was a little bit of mountains, but mostly the Mediterranean. The sand was like soft and white. It was great. It was great. I'll never forget that.
It's definitely worth the trip, man. And if you go to the Sardinia, which is islands off the west coast, you get to go to Palau and the actual island of Sardinia, and there's a couple other islands in that little chain, but Palau and the island of Sardinia and La Maddalena are the two biggest. So La Maddalena, the Navy goes there because we had a submarine base here with retrofit on med runs. And then Palau is the one right next to it, which is where they filmed the James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me, where they have the submarine car. It comes out on the beach. So that beach is where you go. You go hang out at that beach there. It's freaking awesome. And one of the things that you do there, like there's this giant tree. It's like a Keebler elf tree. It's like this giant clay fired kind of tree. It looks like a Keebler elf tree. And it's this big ice cream gelati place that you go to in the center of town, the red square there. You grab your ice cream cone, just walk around through town, after everybody's had their nap during the day, their siesta and stuff, man, and it fires up in the evening, where you go there in the morning. It's freaking awesome, man. It is. It's really cool. It's a different lifestyle, and everybody get a kick out if they go check it out if they haven't been there.
Oh, yeah. And the food over there is great. Everything is fresh. Everything is delicious. You can't find bad food.
No, you can't.
All right,
Let's go to McDonald's.
The time has come. All right, hang on a second. I gotta find my stuff here before I screw myself. You don't want to do that. Is this it? What is it? Is this it? No. Hold on. Sorry, you guys. I got this Windows buried. All right, here we go. All right, ready to go? Here we go. All right. Oh, where's our call? Here we go. And a one and a two.
You got to make it stop, and you got to win the day to the people who run it, to the people who own it. And unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the #1 listener-supported talk radio station, throwing ourselves upon the gears of the machine. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps.
You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
Right, you tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear?
something's going on. Somebody joined our call or something. This happened last week. Stand by.
We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. Yes. But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, I see. By a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs. Be quiet. By a two-thirds majority in the case of more quiet. I order you to be quiet. Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look. It's just a flesh wound. I don't believe I'm sensitive to the grey of courage, skill, nerve, grace, stupidity. I'll do you for that. Oh, what? Come here. What are you going to do, bleed on me? I'm invincible. You're a loony. The Black Knight always triumphs.
Welcome one, welcome all, and it is that time for Roundtable Live here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Be rolling on until 4 a.m. in the morning Eastern time. New ideas, different hosts every night, different subjects every night. You never know what's going to happen right here at the Roundtable Live. King Arthur has nothing on us. We're going round and round.
CPR street gang, this is all biting. Standing by, over. CPR street gang, this is all biting. Standing by, over.
Right now, it's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines,
clocks run out. Time's up.
Wind is blowing cold and dark. On the road and no way out. A broken house, a smoking gun. On the run. On the run.
What's the problem? Smells like fish in here.
What is that? What was that? Some sort of signal? Whoa. Huh? Is that a signal? No. You wearing a wire? No.
It really does smell like fish in here.
You're a damn cop, ain't you? That's it. Show these guys what we do to cops.
Say hello to the devil for me. Behind you! I've been hit! Pablo, kill them!
My name's Jimmy. It's Friday night, and Revolution Radio and Into the Microcosm is on the air. Oh, yeah. That's right. We made it. Friday night, Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Come on down. 35 people in the chat room. YouTube, into the microcosm with Jimmy G and Strike Zone. We're ready to partay, but it smells like fish in here. Epic Journeyman. Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent.
I'm surfing in a wave of cognitive dissonance and spaced out on sensations simultaneously. I feel like I'm caught in the time warp, but also kind of grooving on it.
Well, I'm digging on the time warp skeletons right over here, and it's good to see you, man. Barely made it in here, hanging by a thread. I've been on the air all day on a marathon. No, I'm just kidding. I've been on the air a couple times today, though, so it was real hard to drag myself out here. But now I'm hanging with you guys before the show. You got me all excited and hyper about the possibilities, and now here I am, ready to rock and roll. I see Rio is over in the green room. We ought to come go get him immediately, if not sooner, man.
Oh, boy went back to Napoli because he missed the scenery, the native dancers, and the charming songs. But wait a minute, something's wrong. Hey, hey, now it's a mambo, mambo Italiano, a mambo, mambo Italiano, go Joe. You mixed up Siciliano, or you calabrese, do the mambo like crazy, and a mambo, don't want a tarantella, a mambo, no more a mozzarella, a mambo Italiano, try an enchilada with a fish, a bacalao, and a gumba.
Hey, Goomba. Rockin' Rio. Are you there?
Buena sera.
Nice. All right, now you guys are all here. We're all here, the triad of power. And so now I'm going to release the genie from the bottle.
Open sesame!
All right. I have released the genies. Let this night begin. It's the Santa Cruz Mountains. It's dark. It's black as coal out here. The rain's about to come in. We got Rockin' Rio up in the East Coast, knee deep. Are you probably neck deep by now in snow? And then there's the epic journeyman kicking back over there on the islands. We're over here toiling and sweating, and Epic's over there kicking back. But I know you had a hard week with the overtime, but I mean, still, overtime in Hawaii, it's a lot better than overtime, say, in Peoria, trying to put up some lines that came down.
That's no doubt, man. I spent a lot of overtime up in like Oxnard and stuff, right? Not a comparison. You come down the hill from in the mountains of Hawaii, overlooking like a beautiful day coming across if you get home before dark, right? But today was a great day like that. You see like Molokai and Lanai in the distance with the whales jumping in the distance and this beautiful blue water. You're like, you know what? That's actually, people pay to do this, and I got paid to do this. So I mean, yeah, pretty awesome. So we only got 3 wishes. There's 3 of us. We got to be careful. So the audience should pay attention when we say "I wish," because whatever we wish for, man, we got 3 of them. Genie's out. So let's pay attention, man. We'll see if we get through the show without using up our wishes.
Hassan Chop. That's a good episode of Bugs Bunny when he takes a wrong turn in Albuquerque and he ends up in
it's mine, all mine. You can't have it.
Yeah. And they open up. They trick this thick guard of the tomb into opening the door and saying the secret word. And they get inside. Daffy Duck sees a giant pile of gold, and he does everything he can to get it. He doesn't want. It's a good episode. It's super funny. So yeah, man. I mean, tonight is we're kind of just gonna be flying loose by the seat of our pants, so to speak. And if you have your pants on, enjoy. If you have your pants off, enjoy that too. I think masturbation is becoming a cottage industry in the 2021 COVID lockdown, because anybody who's single, they're just sitting at home by themselves. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of conversations going on over Zoom. I'm sure that's pretty exciting over there on Zoom. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I don't roll in that direction myself.
I'm not saying that you do. I'm just saying.
But no, I mean, it's just like the whole Zoom chat relationship is just. I mean, how bizarre is that? Like that you have to actually like go to the computer and sit in your basement to talk to people. I remember back in the day we used to go to the bar and have beer together and dance and meet people and see a band or whatever.
There you go.
Now we just go down and play on our computers because we can't get out of the house without our masks on.
Well,
and our shots.
And not only that too, it's like onto the swiping, the left or the right swipe. It's not even, you don't even go to the bar anymore or go through any of that. You just pull up your phone, see who entices you or whatever, and you're off. You're off and running.
I was reading today. It seems to happen every year, but I mean, this one seems to be a little more legit than some of the other ones, where the Japanese are launching their sex bots. like they have the human sex bots, like they're ready to roll. They want to get them out there. And I was watching Bill Maher today before the show a little bit, and he was talking about like one of his things, the new rules was about how these it wasn't calling it Zoom, but these other 2 things like that came along, that are these social media networks that are really just about guys masturbating to the girls they hook up with to get paid for them letting them do it, right? And that seems to be like this cottage industry that sprung forth out of this, because there's all these people out there with no place to go and nothing to do, and this is their new social network, which is really kind of sad, right? You combine it with the sex bots, which look really hot, by the way. If you're a guy, these sex bots look really good. They don't look like your average, blow up doll or something like that. They look like real women. They're hot, like the Cherry 2000 movie with what was her name, Melanie Griffith, right? But better, way better. And I just imagine a time in the not too distant future where, the future is now, I guess, where maybe people aren't going to want to leave the home, at that point.
Well, once the AI gets rolling strong enough, you won't even be able to tell the difference between an android and a human, right? I mean, they'll almost be the same thing. You'll be able to talk to it, have a conversation with it. It'll want to snuggle, all that kind of stuff.
Well, you know, uh, thing about it is too is that the idea of people just being stuffed away in their homes and they don't get a chance to go out and interact and like it used to be where people could go out and socially interact. So the social aspect of our society is the baseline for our social activity has been disrupted to the point where people are split off into these little conclaves inside of their houses, by themselves. And so when you think about it, when you look at the amount of minutes that are spent on, say, for example, Pornhub, if you think of the amount of minutes that are spent on there and how many seeds are going unsown, so to speak. So there, I mean, the masturbation industry is a cottage industry, and it's also a birth control mechanism to eliminate a lot of this pesky, indiscriminate breeding that goes on. You know what I'm
So
saying?
we need to have some population reduction, right? So what better way to do it than to lock everybody away in their basements?
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to go a little more diabolical than that because I really think this is part of it. I know we've talked about it a little bit in the past, but I think it's also not just behavior modification, but it's the beginning of pre-crime, because what it does, it knows everybody's likes, what they like sexually, what they like to do, and what their limits are, and it tests those limits, and then you can find out who the freaks are, right? And then on one side of the coin, you can say, well, these are the people we need to lock up. But then for the people who are these sociopaths out there, those are the people maybe somebody wants to bring in as their hired assassin or whatever from an intelligence agency perspective or something. And they figure those people out. So it starts knowing more and more about you at every level. It's not just your consciousness. It's not about or conscience, what you will and will not do, but it's testing the limits of what, they can force you to do and what you like to do, right? And so and there's no better way to do that than through sex. That's why in the 60s and 50s and stuff, the biggest operation there was in intelligence agencies was the honeypot operation, right? They get the girl in there and get all the secrets and the bed talk, right? The pillow talk. So now it's better than that. It can read your mind. I'm not even kidding. It can read your mind.
Well, the thing is that the one of the most it's the simplest aspect of training the AI over the whole internet, and that is that you're always given two choices: this or that, this or that, this or that. Doesn't matter if it's let's just say you're on a dating site. Doesn't matter you're male or female. Doesn't matter. You're on a dating site. And you start to look at these different people, you get these choices. And then how you train the AI to what you're attracted to is by how quickly you dump what you don't like and linger on what you do like, or you kind of like it, but not, the thing is that all of these little microscopic things that we do on a daily basis, every time it doesn't matter. There's two pictures of two different kinds of cars there. There's two articles. One has Kim Kardashian in yoga pants with her ass hanging out, and it says something there. And then another one has something else. And then they put those pictures that start the article up for everybody, and you get to see which one people are picking. So this is just like what you do when you say prove you're not a robot. You're sitting there, show me show me the boats, show me the buses. It's the same thing. It's just reversed, and it's done to where literally
it's showing the butts and show me the boobs.
I'm just saying they literally, if you were a lettered agency, for example, and you got privy to some of this information, you could literally deliver a spy to a person based on what they're attracted to, and that you could they're just showing up at a bar. So this person's at a bar somewhere, and this woman just shows up, And she starts laughing at all his jokes and this and that and the other thing. Next thing you know, boom, they got you. Because they control you with the bait they know you're going to take. That's the thing. It used to be random. They used to send the bait out, and they didn't know who was going to react. But now they can specifically bait you based on your preferences on the internet, sexual or otherwise. Go ahead.
It's efficiencies, right? So they know, like, this is a 97% efficiency. We're going to use that one as much as we can. This one's 88. And then what happens is they're so confident at 97% in a certain situation, you make a different choice. Now it throws everything out of kilter. It's like, well, wait. That should have been 97%. What was that? Well, you think that's a win for you? No, it's a loss for you. It's a loss for you because now it's going to focus on you and want to know why did you choose different than that 97% certainty you choose this way. And now the focus is on what was it that made you choose that 88 percentile one. And it just gets better and better and better. This is not a joke. This is really where it's going. And so I think that before it gets there, maybe we need to really take a, I don't know what kind of stand we could take because everybody has to kind of be informed, but that is where it's going. That is exactly where it's going.
I think it'll be there before we realize it's happened. I think it's going to be, the learning will be complete before it's revealed. By the time we know about it, it'll have already surpassed that.
Well, I think you're right. That's the thing is like this is the flags, right? It's all about building the flags. So if you know how to surf the nebulous nature of this kind of thing and be not stick out, then maybe you can navigate it in some way. And that'll probably be the way that people in the future will try to have a black market economy, gray market economy, whatever, know how to do that. Not the flag. But that's all the more reason why when you make that decision that's not the 97% decision, you will be sorted out and focused on by all the resources available to the system to find out why you didn't do that. Because they had you down to 97%. And now you're not. Why not? What did you do different? Right? And it's just going to be, it's not personal. It's an AI. It's just looking to see what you did different. Is it really you? Now it's like, well, wait, is somebody using your account? Is that somebody else surfing on your account? What is it? What's going on here? Right? I mean, it's a flag. And once that flag's out there, it's going to prosecute. Maybe it's in the background. You don't know about it. But all of a sudden, weird things will start happening to you because, weird things will show up in your feed that wouldn't normally be there. And all of a sudden, you have this uncomfortable feeling that maybe you're being watched because you are. Right? You are. And I don't mean to make that like the paranoia thing. I just mean that's the way that artificial intelligence will work when it's trying to figure out, why it had an error. Because right at that point, it's not personal. It's an error. It's an error. It's an error correction. What did it do wrong? Yeah, I think we have a real war on our hands that most people don't know we're fighting yet.
No, and then when people are scanning their eyeballs to get a beer at the ball game and giving up their information down at Burger King for a free burger. People don't realize a lot of times what their information's even worth or even that anybody's even looking at it. And the thing is there isn't anyone looking at it. What it is that it's just being monitored constantly, and every single person. I mean, we've talked about mirror world. We've talked about everybody having an icon in this false reality that they have somewhere where they can put a something together and see what they need to do to make something happen across the plane. I mean, they've gotten this social engineering down to a science, and they just need to know which domino to push over to have a whole bunch of stuff happen. They don't have to. When I say they, I mean the people in control of these systems, whoever they are. So whoever's buying the information is the they. And if there's nobody buying it, it doesn't matter because it's being collected anyways, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Rio, coming up on it.
It's being bought and sold and assembled and profiled, and at some point they'll be able to. We were talking about the love bots before, but if you think about a biological android kind of thing, I mean, at some point they'll be able to program the AI into that to be a very good replication of you, if not an exact copy. I mean, we've talked about clones and some of the things like that in the past, but they could just digitally clone you at some point, and nobody would really even be able to know the difference.
Well, and the other thing is too, you get pushed along and pushed along. You get people that have been incrementally pushed along by social engineering, by the different things that are done to change people's idea of what's attractive and what isn't, what's hot and sexual and what isn't. At one point things were a certain way, but now things are a certain way. It's like that movie Bitter Moon, Roman Polanski's movie. It's like the more the more they get into their relationship, their sex has to get weirder and weirder because they stop getting off on it. So they keep having to keep going further and further and further, and that's what happens on here when you're being engineered. At 1 minute things look a certain way, and then the next minute, they start making the girls look younger and younger on porn. Making people that are watching porn, you know what I mean? It's just one thing after another, and the programming never stops. I mean, you can go all the way out to Howard Stern's show, and you can listen to Howard Stern back in the 90s. You can see a distinct marketing program for a certain type of sex. That now has become, a staple for some people. And the other thing is too, the big thing that was perpetrated out there was we're running up on the break here. My name's Jimmy. We'll be right back. That's a smoking jam, man. Open Sesame.
You're gonna have to link me to that one because he says grooving with the genie's Shazam.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. That's important because that's a lot of people remember that the name of the Missing Sinbad Genie movie. I personally don't remember the name of the title being that.
Well, here,
most people do.
I'm gonna pass it over to you.
So
I do remember the Sinbad Genie movie as well. I remember that existing.
Tell me what you remember. I mean, just
fucking Christ, man.
I remember seeing commercials for it. I don't think I ever actually saw it, but I do remember seeing the commercials for it. And he was dressed up in his big poofy pants, and I think he was blue, if I remember right. He had
what did the you probably saw like I don't want to put words in your mouth, the box cover, the poster or something. What did it look like? Do you recall?
No, I don't actually. I mean, I do remember it existing though. I remember seeing commercials for it on television and the movie, the trailers. But
there's the Shaq movie Kazam, right? And people think that they're getting confused, but I know for a fact it isn't, right? Because I had 2 copies of the Sinbad movie, but no, it's disappeared. It never existed. There's no such thing, and it's one of the biggest mysteries. Nobody learned it was missing until 2007. So from 1993 to 2007, everybody just assumed it was there, but all of a sudden it disappeared, and nobody could find it.
Hold on. It's Could This Be Magic, huh? Hold on.
Could this be magic?
Yeah.
Or could this be love?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, and The Cradle Will Rock is a good tune, too.
Yeah, but we're going to go with this one. Bah. But
quality that's
here we go. We got to go back, so just be prepared to just go right back. Hey, chat room, I'm sorry I didn't see you there for a second. I'll come back to you. Just give me a second. This is one of these ones that I can't let roll. There we go. Here we go. Stand by. Jimmy. It's Into the Microcosmos Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Come on down, become a patron.
Out upon the islands on a cool summer night, buddy, you don't got to hurry, take your time. What you need is on the menu, and you get it tonight, buddy, you got women's on your mind. Could this be magic, or could this be love? Could this turn tragic? You know that magic often does. And I see lonely ships upon the water. Better save the women and children first. Sail away with someone's daughter. Better save the women and children first.
Oh, yeah. Van Halen. What a band. Mom's Jimmy. It's Into the Microcosm. Come on down, become a patron. There's 36 people in the chat room chatting it up. Navy's over there. The lovely Surrey Sunflower, Positron, Harry Q, Maced 139, Rockin' Rio's over there. Not much to it. Valerie, Trucker, Gerald, Burdock, Pack 1, Monob, Or Green, Flippy, JJ, Lark in Texas. Dirt Engineer, SJ1, Cat Dog Girl, hello. Wild Bob, Jer Bear, stay tuned for Jer Bear, directly following Into the Microcosm with Late Night with Jer Bear. Eagle Flowers in there, Festus B, Wall E, Omega Logos, Jasmine, hey Jasmine, Shoppy Waters, T, and Stardust, man. So many others in there, I just can't see them, and we got a bunch of people over in the chat over here. You want to shout out the chat over there, Epic, over on Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean. We're in the strike zone. Go ahead.
We got John Nelson's, Burford Girl, Whatevs, Zoe Buttercup, Bernays. We got Corolla Convery, Rusty Sword. Marty Lauderdale, Regular Girl. Hey, Regular Girl. El Cajon, California.
Smurfer Girls over there, too.
Scroll up a little farther. Sorry, I gotta go.
Smurfer Girls over there. Rusty Swords, John, a bunch of people. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy yourselves. We're having a good time. And, you know, somehow we've gotten on this subject. And, you know, tell you what, I don't have a problem talking about it. So, you know, and to me, you know, it is, I mean, to me, it's part of what we talk about, which is social engineering. And so, you know, the sexual preferences of a generation have been shaped and socially engineered, because there's just certain things that you know, have been done over a period of time. And so what people are into today is not what they were into, you know, 50 years ago. I mean, literally, I remember back in the 70s going into the 80s, at that point, women's you know, women's ability to even have an orgasm at that point, they weren't, women really didn't get much training in it from anybody up until that point, unless they had some sort of experience sexually, which would mean that you'd have to have sex a bunch of times, which is something that, you know, didn't really happen back then as much as it does today. So it's just, everything's, you know, completely changed and different as we stand today. So now hey Gloria, what's going on? So now anything goes pretty much. And I mean, it really, at this point, people have reached this point of being able to, what the main thing is about the sex, it seems like in 2021, is just about the orgasm itself, or the busting of the nut. Other than that, there really doesn't seem like there's any real kind of commitments or real, you know, long-standing, old-fashioned style relationships. It's mostly just about pleasure, which is what we talk quite a bit about. So, you know, there you can, you know, chase pleasure. Pleasure costs money, you know, and happiness is free. You know, puppy breath makes you happy or whatever. You hear a bird singing, that stuff's free. But, you know, if you want to chase the pleasure, if you want to get the orgasm, if you want to have the explosion of pleasure, you're going to have to pay up somehow, however that means, whatever it means, you will have to pay up. And so, you know, Timothy Leary said in the tape we've been talking about for the last couple of shows, says right in there, I'm responsible for turning America into pleasure seekers. And you could say that the operation known as the Playboy Mansion down in Southern California was almost directly responsible for a large part of the sexual revolution. The Playboy magazine and Playboy operation down south was a key ingredient in what changed the ideas of sexual gratification or different kinds of pleasures. Epic. Talk a little bit about that.
One of the things that Playboy did, which was brilliant at the time, was they used subtlety initially, right? So the articles, they had great articles, so everybody had an excuse. Well, I read it for the articles, I have Playboy for the articles because they had great journalists. They wrote these great stories. In fact, Chariots of the Gods was first printed before it ever made a book out of it. The Von Däniken book was first printed in, I think it was 1968, somewhere in there, in Playboy. It was in the 60s. And so the point is that people had an excuse. And then, it was pinup girls, and it was just topless, and they were real, careful not to show too much and suggest the rest, throughout the 50s when they first came out, and the 60s. And then the 70s, all of a sudden, they got a little bit more, graphic, but not too bad. And then by the 80s, it started going, too much because that's what happens. It's like any other kind of drug. You need more and more and more, right? So the social addiction took place to pornography. I mean, that's really what it was, right? Where if everybody just ran around nude, nobody would care. But and that's what's ironic about this is the fact that there's repressed sexual energy in the first place that makes something like that possible. If everybody just ran around naked, nobody would care. If everybody just naturally walked around and occasionally would see somebody in the bushes doing something, they wouldn't think second nature about it at all. But because it becomes a repressed nature of the society we live in, it becomes taboo a little bit. Not even taboo, just a hidden thing. It becomes a special, like paying extra to see it. You know what I mean? It becomes a spectacle, and that's what Playboy brilliantly did. Is they made it not only acceptable to have this little, on the side kind of open sexuality. You had to read between the lines initially, not just the articles, but read between the lines what was being portrayed, and there's magic there, real magic there. Okay, we've shown that before, but we'll show that later as well. And then, but you had competing mechanisms in place that became social engineering mechanisms like Penthouse and Hustler and things like that became more graphic.
Wait a minute. The Hustler was a key moment though, because now it went from sort of artful photography to a more guttural representation of the female form. In other words, there was leaving nothing to the imagination, as it were. And that was a big change from both Playboy and Penthouse, which that type of photo shoot wasn't something that was done. It was done in a different way. But the thing is just like you're saying, see, there's a niche for everybody. So the thing is once Playboy created that first niche, then the Penthouse, like we were saying, there's always two. There's always something else that crops up, and then there's 00, the guy that pops up with this other stuff, which takes it down a notch, because now it's really getting into, almost. That was a borderline magazine. That magazine could be sold at the 7-Eleven or the liquor store, whereas if you went just a little bit further, you'd have to go down to one of those other kind of stores. And that was the big thing, that was really legal porn, kind of extreme for the times. Go ahead, either one of you guys jump in on that.
Well, yeah, the whole thing with Larry Flint is he took the imagination out of it. There was no thought left to, nothing to ponder. Let's put it that way. Actually, I think he just died too, like last week or 2 weeks ago, didn't he?
A couple days ago, yeah. I think I told the story on the air, and in fact, I know I did. I ran into him at the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas when I had the video store there, and it was a pretty cool story. And I'll tell it again just for the benefit of people who didn't hear it, because I was fed up with Las Vegas. I was tired of Las Vegas. It was 1993, 4-ish, probably 94-ish. I'm like, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm just gonna bail out. I'm done with this, right? And I was sitting at Rio Hotel, and I was playing single quarter Keno machines. They're if you've ever played a Keno machine before, it's just a bunch of numbers, 80 numbers. You try to get as many as you can, and there's only 20 numbers drawn. And if you get a solid 10, you can win like $3,000 on a quarter. You get 2,500 if you get a solid 9, and so on and so on down the scale.
While I'm young, man.
So anyway, the point is you can win big, but usually you don't win anything. But that's the point. But so I'm sitting there playing that, and this guy sits down in a wheelchair next to me, and he's got two really hot girls next to him, and he's like, he's got a slurry kind of voice, right? Hey, how's it going there, buddy? Whatever, right? It's going good. He's playing nickel Keno machines. And it's a low Keno machines. He's got his two girls checking in on him, so he's doing. And, hey, well, how are you doing? And also, when I'm talking to him, and while I'm talking to him, I'm just absent-mindedly throwing a quarter in and carrying on this conversation, and I win $2,500. I hit a solid 9 Keno spot, and I win $2,500. And I ended up buying a truck and staying in Las Vegas because I'm like, well, okay, yeah, I'll stay, I guess. So that one moment of meeting Larry Flint changed my life dramatically.
Wow.
Because I was just about to leave, right? I mean, the day I was going to leave, right?
Well,
so anyway, it's interesting.
The thing is that another thing that was separated Hustler from the other two did have articles. They did have, good writing that was going on there. But Hustler magazine was more of a conspiratorial article. So the stuff that they were printing in there, they were printing the dirt on people. And they were printing stuff that they had the evidence to back it up. And I mean, Larry Flint went to court over this freedom of speech, and he got gunned down also, was how he ended up in a wheelchair. He got shot. They went after him for what he was doing. So he was, I hate to say it, but the dude was cutting edge in a lot of ways. He did have a major effect on society. And like we were talking,
who came to comfort him in the hospital? Well, he was in the hospital. He didn't think he was ever going to walk again. Was Rosalind Carter, Jimmy Carter's wife, First Lady.
Yeah, I mean, he was the first one to put together the whole scratch and sniff campaign. He got this whole word of mouth going about the scratch and sniff, and sold a bunch of magazines. Unbelievably or not. But the world is a tricky and wild place. I mean, it's just like I was saying earlier. Howard Stern had a major effect on a lot of things in a lot of ways. He had a big audience, big listeners. He'd get these hot actresses to come on there, and he'd ask them if they like the anal. I mean, he just all of a sudden it just becomes this thing. Oh, I'm gonna go on Howard Stern so I can, because all the actresses I heard girls on there talking about how they were excited to come on so that he would ask them so they could tell him their answer. You know what I mean? It's just like another one that he was key in is the two girls thing. One girl, guys appreciating watching two girls being together sexually. He was key on that too. He was one of the people used to do the social engineering on that. So I mean, I'm just saying from a perspective, if I was going to be thinking about two girls, I wouldn't be thinking about them being with each other. I'd be thinking about them being with me. But they turned it into this thing that guys fantasize about two girls being together, which I don't know if they ever did, but they do now, is the point. And these types of, social engineering operations are exactly what we're talking about, what we do talk about. And the Howard Stern, was instrumental in a lot of ways. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that real comment on that one. Yeah, it's true. I mean, the thing about this is that it's what are we talking about? We're talking about people pushing the edge, being on limit, right? So at the time that Playboy came out, Hefner was pushing the limit of what was acceptable, because before that it was Sports Illustrated. People don't know this, but Sports Illustrated, well, some people do. Sports Illustrated was actually like a men's magazine. The name Sports Illustrated wasn't about sports. It was about they'd throw cheesy pictures. Cheesecake images rather of women in bikinis and stuff at a time when that really wasn't appropriate, but the name gave them cover. So you could be there in the 50s watching Dick Van Dyke Show and hitting with the boys at the pool table in your house in the lounge, right? And letting the ladies do their talk and be, hey, it's that girl, the Calendar Girl, and Sports Illustrated, whatever. But it wasn't anything like Playboy. And then Playboy came along and, pushed the envelope, right? So when Larry Flint came along, he pushed it obviously that much more. It was Bob Guccione with Penthouse before that. And so we're talking about pornography here, but it wasn't originally pornography. It kind of could say it's what's your conception of pornography, because actual pornography didn't become mainstream until somewhere around 1996 or something, where those things came around in men's magazines. Before that, they weren't showing penetration or actual sex acts. They were getting really close, but they weren't actually showing it. And one or two things that did were like very controversial when they did and got pulled or whatever. But and the age of video was what changed it. The age of video where a guy named Nosy Bloom, who started Caballero, which was like the high class porn tapes at the time. He started with film reels in San Francisco.
Well,
I know this because I was looking for this Missing Sinbad Genie movie, and he's the guy who probably produced that movie.
Let me ask you this. So you had the video store. Did you have X-rated movies in your video store?
I sure did.
Okay, so hold it.
Corral doors, the OK Corral's saloon doors.
Hold it. Just hold it. Did you have X-rated movies in your video store?
Yes, we did.
Okay. How often were those videos rented? How much time did those videos spend in the store? I mean, in relation,
they rented as much as the regular movies.
Okay, so this is a major point, because what you're bringing up here is a major move in this thing, because you used to have to, like I say, go to these places to satisfy your needs, whatever you're looking for. To find your little niche area that you can buy stuff that associates with that, you'd have to go to these places, these porn shops, with the sex toys and the
Doc Johnson.
Exactly. Yeah. So the thing is, though, this is where, just like I was saying earlier, where the Hustler magazine was barely able to be sold in stores, but it just made it. And it's the same thing with this. Once this became possible, then the porn industry in Southern California exploded. Because in the valley down in Southern California in Los Angeles, the San Fernando Valley is the big porn central, and this is where
Chatsworth specifically.
Exactly, and this is where you remember when all of a sudden they had gotten the female population to be running around like a porn star or whatever. Hey, I'm just like a porn star. There's bumper stickers. Chicks had like necklaces.
Party like a porn star back in the cocaine days of the 80s. That was a bumper sticker for sure.
Yeah, and chicks had necklaces that said porn star. Like somehow they socially engineered regular people, regular ladies, to move in that direction, and so like you can pretend to be a porn star, I guess, in the bedroom, and if you do that, then you're I guess that means anything goes at that point. You can throw away all your inhibitions when you're a porn star and just do anything you want to do. And so that was a big move into that arena, and it did socially engineer women. I mean,
well, didn't that all really kind of kick off, at least over here on the East Coast side, like in the late '70s with the disco era and the Studio 54 scene and that kind of thing? Wasn't that a bigger transition into just going wild and doing what you want to do?
It was cocaine,
with
absolutely,
no limits.
Yeah, it was expedited by cocaine. And the movie Deep Throat came out. Sorry to make this disgusting for people, but I know this from being in the video industry, right? And then Behind the Green Door, Marilyn Chambers movies, and things like that, made it mainstream. And it was in conjunction with before it was all mob people that ran that industry. And so what happened was, when those became mainstream, I mean, they were played at regular theaters, X-rated movies in regular theaters, right? It was in conjunction with the disco era and cocaine specifically, and so it made it okay for women to embrace that lifestyle at the time, and it's kind of like the Roaring '20s, which also had cocaine involved, right? It also did. It's very similar, actually. What's old is new again, right? So now you had the video to implement it, the imagery as well as in the marketing to go behind it.
And there's always been this big sexual thing going on amongst the elites, and this sort of throwing caution to the wind and this debauchery and all this has now become pop culture. I've seen there's people have poles in their living room, literally stripper poles in their living room. And there was a big thing, for a while, which was the big stripper thing. There was a lot. I had nothing wrong with if you're a dancer. I'm not saying anything. It has nothing to do with you. I've been to plenty of strip clubs myself. I'm not disparaging anything around this industry if you're in it. What I am saying, though, is that we've been socially engineered down a road, to the point where Housewives were made 50 Shades of Grey a #1 bestseller. So you can see, going all the way back to what I was saying about Howard Stern and the whole smack that ass thing that happened throughout hip-hop and, in the younger cultures on MTV and all this, smacking that ass or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just one thing after another. You got 2001. You got the buildings came down. We started being okay with torture, and people are okay with torture. I mean, if you ever had a tattoo, you're no stranger to pain. Okay, so you've been led down a road. So you've been introduced. The tattoos became super popular. Everybody went around and got them. So everybody's got a tattoo. They're no stranger to pain, man. And so a lot of people get addicted to the pain that comes with getting tattoos. That's part of the attraction to it for some people, is the pain aspect of it. But
it's the associative part, right? So you have the pain associated with the artwork, which is associated, again, reinforcement or harmonic reinforcement, really, of a life. If you're doing it right as a tattoo, it's a life changing moment or realization or whatever it is. It's close to your heart that you're making the tattoo in the first place for, right? And then the pain is a reinforcement for it. So all those things become associative in your mind. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but that's what they are. So now it's become this reinforced, powerful thing.
Yep, and smack that ass. And I'll tell you right now, the thing about it is that everybody was okay with torture. We've been moved down the road. And now we're coming to the point where it is going to be the brave new world. It's going to be everybody belongs to everybody. And it really doesn't matter what gender you are. What matters is if you're going to get your orgasm or not. Because, in a narcissistic society, it's just one big rat wheel. And like I said, when you stick people at home by themselves and they can't get out and interact with people and they can't be social, masturbation becomes a cottage industry. And it's a trippy place to be. We're talking about social engineering of the sexual preferences of a generation, ladies and gentlemen, because we're coming up on Valentine's Day, and I'm sure everybody's thinking about that special someone. And if you're by yourself and you don't have anybody, well, there's some avenues for release.
It's just a click away.
It's always the internet, right?
It is. The internet's just a click away. So, but is that what we've come to now? Is like we are just shivering alone in the dark somewhere with the blue light of the screens flickering, and people are just fantasizing about the life they once led, or someplace they want to be, or somebody else they want to be with. And you have to use your imagination. You can't actually touch somebody else or experience the energy that goes back and forth between each other. It's just it's 2021, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jimmy. It's into the microcosm. We are fully listener-supported. Revolution Radio is over there on Revolution Radio. And if you like free speech, Studio A, Studio B, 48 hours a day, 7 days a week, home of industrial strength information, and it never sleeps here in the microcosm. So we're up all night and we sleep all day, and we're here tonight and all night long. We're smacking that ass. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to be here all night long. We won't smack that ass. We'll be here for another 60 minutes, so stick around. Get yourself some cup of coffee. I think Rio. Bye-bye, blue sky. Okay.
I don't get that cup of coffee.
Okay, go ahead. So, do you got some reverse speech shit you're going to throw?
I got some Bill Gates and a little bit of Dr. Bakey.
Okay. All right, let's see here. What do I got going around here?
I actually had more of the Good Doctor, because what I did find so far was very interesting. But
okay, I'm gonna play Somebody Get Me a Doctor. Somebody.
But Dr. Gates is actually even the guy that interviewed Dr. Gates. They were going. It was actually kind of funny because they were going back and forth in reverse and forward the whole time. And then at some point, the interviewer says in reverse, he says, "Enough of the reverse," and then they stop, like, for the rest of the interview. It's just garbled nonsense. It was really bizarre. Like, the first 3 or 4 minutes of the interview was completely reversed, and then they said enough of the reverse, and then it was over. So, like, they just turned it off. But he's quite revealing.
Sorry. I was busy.
Rusty says the Good Doctor. LOL. Yeah, the Good Doctor is not so good.
He's not.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Dr. Fauci reveals that he's a shill. What?
Did you get some Fauci?
Yeah, I got a little bit of Fauci. I didn't get as much as I wanted to, but the piece I got is loaded. I mean, I could just keep going with it from what I've already written down.
Somebody's in the chat room said, "Hey Jimmy, I know you're gonna catch some heat for this." Why? We've kept this I've kept this really clean, man. I could have gotten dirty. Real dirty. I mean, I didn't even get to one of the main points I wanted to make. But I'm just gonna leave it alone. Should I leave it alone?
No, go for it. I mean, who cares, man? Let's talk about the transvestites.
What?
I said, let's talk about the transvestites and the 90 different genders.
No, we're not going to do that, man. Let's just move on.
Just kidding.
No, I mean, I don't have any problem with anybody, man. The thing is when we're talking about this, it can be construed as we're saying something bad about the people or people that are into shit or whatever, which I'm not doing. We never do. I mean, it's all
care about the social engineering aspect of it.
That's all.
It's a path that has been programmed.
Yeah, that's all it is for me. I don't hold anything. People do their thing, man. I'm stoked on whatever people do. I don't care, man. Ain't none of my business. It's nobody's business what I do, my religion, who I voted for, all that stuff. That's all my business. If I want to share, then I do. If I don't, we don't. So, you guys ready?
I'm always ready.
Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm not sure if there's going to be all these breaks and shit, so I'm assuming there's going to be. So let's just go back and hear what's going on.
Fluctuations in even the most simplistic equation. Choice. The problem is choice.
Right here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Be here Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Private Eye Matrix Revealed with Monique Lassard.
Collision Course is back. Schedule will be on Revolution Radio every Saturday night, 6 to 8 p.m. You get outer space. You get honest answers, real researchers, truthful answers, and a place to engage with questions. Take part in the discussion. Revolution Radio on freedomslips.com hosts Collision Course every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time.
I'm Reverend Medium Tracy Lockwood, and I'd like to invite you to join me as I discuss life from a medium's perspective. I'll be talking about insights that I've gained through readings with topics like your guides, angels, animal communication, past lives, our transition, and the afterlife. We'll take a deeper look at the metaphysical meanings of symbols and totems, and I'll give you some practical exercises to help you develop your own natural psychic ability. Join me on From a Medium's Perspective.
All right, thanks for listening while we take that short at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And yeah, we're going to get back to the host.
My name's Jimmy. It's midnight on the West Coast, California. It's into the microcosm. It's revolution.radio, freedomslips.com. Welcome into the microcosm, ladies and gentlemen. Wakey. It's time to get up, smell the coffee. Got some coffee, got some strong brew over here, brewing. And we were talking about, we got a little bit into the sexual revolution and some of the social engineering that's gone on in the programming the sexual preferences of a generation, ladies and gentlemen. And we were talking a little bit about this and that, and we got to a point, and we're at that point now. So we got some interesting stuff here for you in the second hour, but I just want to sort of close out this conversation that we've been having, and just to say that there's a certain reason that males and females get together, specifically, and there's a specific thing that happens there, more than just the having the orgasm. There's really something special that actually happens there, and so the thing is that with the threat of AIDS and the introduction of these condoms, there's a rubber separation between the male and the female, and the electricity that goes between those people through this reproductive act is cut off. So essentially, at the point that there is no energetic flow between the two people, and now you have this rubber coated penis. You're only one step away from not needing a man at all at that point, because realistically, it's just an item to move along to a certain point and, have an orgasm. So there's really no connection between the two. And then men have been systematically demoralized on TV to look like stupid fools that, can't find their shoes to tie them. And women have systematically been engineered to a point where they feel like men are not even necessary anymore. Men have lost their place in society, and men have had to, because of the overwhelming social engineering driving women towards each other. It's had to men in society have now had to feminize themselves as not to be too threatening. Men have had to adjust how they are. I mean, I see these ads every 5 seconds about manscaping all of a sudden. It's like all of a sudden, there's a big thing about manscaping. Like, you got to shave off your hairs and all this stuff and keep your, the commercials are there. I'm sure you've seen them. They're pretty blatant or whatever. And they got a hot chick talking about it's the guy's junk or whatever. And, they're selling you this thing that... Yeah, they're just right, and they're just selling you this idea. But they did the same thing to women earlier. And when you think about it, what's the point of when you think about that? It's like, when you get older, you get hair. You know what I'm saying? So, when I was a little kid and in junior high and all that, the biggest thing was, man, people were scared to go into the showers because if you didn't have hair. You know what I mean? And somehow they got everybody shaving off their hair to make themselves look like little kids. And, and I mean, the thing is to make that a desirable item or something or some style. What it's doing on the other end of that is it's programming the male population to, it's so insidious, man. There is nothing out there under the sun that's available that does not have a social engineering aspect to it. And
I think there's a great. Sorry to interrupt. I think it's appropriate. This one, the silverback and the gorilla, family, right? The pecking order. I mean, the dominant male, the alpha male, the silverback male, right? What you're doing is you're denying that same kind of thing to happen in society. There is no silverback because you're changing, you're shaving everything off, right? I mean, it maybe sounds simplistic, but that's not an exaggeration. I mean, what you're doing is you're taking the natural pheromones and things that exist in society, and the natural, as Jim was saying, the energetic energies, the electrical impulses at the biological level, and isolate them with the insulation level of a condom in sex. And they're not advocating for free love in the sense that you're going to catch every sexual disease out there. That's not what I'm saying. But you're taking that away from the actual family unit, the way that love really happens with people, the meeting of the minds and the pheromones and everything that happens with the energetic aspect of it. And you're taking the dominant male aspect away from society. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. That's not who we are. We're human beings, and that's part of who we are. And once you take that away, we're no longer humans anymore. You're trying to isolate it, just like the AI wants a binary decision. Isn't that what it is? That's what's happening.
Yeah, and when you look at the aspect of it, as far as where we've come from and where we are now, I mean, it's literally, I mean, anything goes, Rio, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the whole society is gone that way, and even look at at internet traffic and stuff like that. There's something like, what is it, 85% of all internet traffic is porn. I mean, that's a lot of data to move, and given the fact that it's all in that one direction, I mean, you think about, what we normally do on the internet. Aside from that, is only 15% of what goes on. And that's a pretty drastic representation of the amount of programming is taken over. If our normal life is only 15% of the real, the total, I mean, how far down can you go from there?
Well, the thing is too is as VR comes, I mean, some of the biggest, the advances in video on the internet were probably pretty much backed by the porn industry. I know a lot of what's going on as far as the VR and some of these robotic dolls and all this stuff is all these the money's being spent in the porn industry to get a realistic experience through VR and one of these dolls. And the thing about it is when they're doing the dolls, what they're really doing is they're developing these robotics and these lifelike android type things, and it's pushing development in other areas. And so what's learned in the porn industry then translates out into other stuff. So this is a big business, and it is a big part of social engineering, ladies and gentlemen. We don't talk about it too much, but I think we've talked about it enough. This is Into the Microcosm, and we have Rock and Rio, and we have Epic Journeyman. Rock and Rio is a sound engineer, and one of our favorite things that Rio does is he takes a look at some of these players and listens to maybe what they're saying, and listens to what they're saying and what they may be saying in reverse. So it's Rockin' Rio's Week in Reverse, and this week you've gotten into everybody's favorite, Bill Gates, ladies and gentlemen, in reverse.
And everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. Paid for every dance, selling each romance. Ooh, what they say. There will come a day when youth will pass away. What will they say about me when the end comes? I know there's no just a gigolo's. Life goes on without me. Without me, 'cause I ain't got nobody. Nobody cares for me. Nobody cares for me.
There he is, David Lee Roth. Who knew? Ladies and gentlemen? I guess we should have known, but we didn't.
The old diamond, right?
Nobody knew.
He shopped in girls' clothing stores. Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. I know everybody's been waiting patiently for this. I know you've gotten a lot of requests, Rio. A lot of requests for Bill Gates. Let us have it. Come on in and get it going here, bro.
All right. So let me get this queued up here. And this was an interview that Bill Gates did, I guess, about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. It's a new show on MSNBC. The host name is Ari Melber, and obviously Bill Gates, being associated with MSNBC, does a lot of interviews with those guys. And the topic was, about the next pandemic that's coming and why we need to have the vaccine now for the current situation. And there's really a lot of interesting stuff in it. It covers like quite a bit of of different things besides the vaccines and the sickness forward and backwards. But he also gets into like personal things in reverse, which is really kind of interesting. And I guess really the best way to go with this is just kind of roll it forward so you can hear what they're talking about, and then I'll catch the little backwards parts in the conversation. The other thing that was really weird about this too is they only actually did it for the first few minutes of the whole interview. The whole thing is about 20 minutes long, but it's only really about the first 3 or 4 minutes that they're doing a whole lot of reverse speaking, apparently intentionally, because at a point in the interview, he actually says, the host says, enough of the reverse, and it kind of stops. There's still, a few little things scattered throughout the rest of it, but the actual like reversed conversation stops, which is kind of unusual. I mean, I've heard them say, we're going to say this in reverse, or we're going to talk in reverse, and then go into it, but I've never heard them like turn it off before. So that was kind of an interesting thing about it. And I guess I'll just get it rolling here. And if you guys hear anything that you want to jump in and comment on.
All right, I'm on the edge of my seat.
And welcome to our exclusive interview with Bill Gates, the entrepreneur, Microsoft co-founder, software developer.
All right, so now the first reversal here is he says, now it's the egg boy, like making fun of Bill Gates being an egghead.
Microsoft co-founder, software developer, and
philanthropist. Thanks for being here.
Where is it?
Of co-founder,
software developer, and philanthropist. Thanks for being here. Great to talk to you.
Okay, so Bill Gates now says it's great to talk to you, and it says we've God's gift.
We've God's gift. Great to talk to you. We've God's gift. Great to talk to you.
And now, I'll roll it.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's annual letter is now
just come out. You both write about how this pandemic, in your view, will be as defining as World War II. What are the key steps to take right now?
All right, so here he actually asks him, he says, I'm here, is this vaccine criminal?
And what are the key steps to take right now?
It's criminal or pivotal? It might be pivotal.
If I slow it down more, I thought the same thing about pivotal, but I could slow it down a little more. It comes out as criminal.
What are the key steps to take right now?
And then let's see. So the next thing is where Bill Gates will respond. And
what are the key steps to take right now?
Well, we have to do two things at once. We have to bring this epidemic to an end.
So that reversal there is going to say, hear this scheme, let us in you. Live 5,000 years. Yes, through this plane we'll walk.
Bring this epidemic to the...
That's here, this scheme let us in you. And it says live 5,000 years. Yes, through this plane we'll walk.
Well, we have to do two things at once. We have to...
I'm hearing.
Well, we have to do two.
I'm hearing all of these tonight. So
yeah, it's very clear. A lot of this. It's
yeah, and the thing is, I want to bring up about this RNA thing. This is software, ladies and gentlemen. This is like software or some sort of an operating system, just like he stole Windows from Apple. He's trying to steal our operating systems with this thing. That's what he's up to, in my opinion. Go ahead.
All right, so
to an end, primarily by getting the vaccine out in large numbers to the entire world.
All right, so now, obviously, forward he's talking about getting the vaccine out and all that. And the reversal here says, floor rats need this. 2 months and you're on it. Whiny scab and needing help. You're a lame Xbox.
Floor rats need this much numbers to the entire world.
Floor rats need this.
Floor rats need this.
Much rolling whiny scab and needing help. You're a lame Xbox.
It says,
primarily by getting the vaccine out. Whiny scab and needing help. You're a lame Xbox.
So that's your. It's interesting that he's talking about, how they're doing the programming through the Xbox. You're sitting home now. You're under quarantine, and we're programming you through your lame Xbox because you're.
I need to point out, this is a good point to put this out there to everybody. That I know Jimmy knows about this because he works with wireless. If you have a device that will let you sense the wireless signal, the strength of things in your area, not counting this new Xbox, I'm not sure about the new one. I'm going to put that out of the equation. But the Xbox One is the strongest Wi-Fi transmitter in any neighborhood, anywhere, anything anybody has. It's stronger than your smart meter, anything. That is the strongest single Wi-Fi output device in anybody's home. Or was.
And also take into account Charles Lieber's work that we've talked about with the virus-sized transistors and the liquid computing. Imagine a computer in a vial of water. Remember those articles? It's really important, ladies and gentlemen. Real important. Go ahead, Rio.
All right, so now he gets in a little bit about the agenda of this. I'll roll the forward and then the back.
And we have to make sure that we're ready.
All right, so now he's going to say, he there wrote, yeah, their schemes by human.
He there wrote, yeah, their schemes by human. And we have to make sure that we're ready. He there wrote, yeah, their schemes by human.
So that's it's interesting that it's talking about the vaccine making you by human, because everybody's worried about the RNA reprogramming the DNA and not making you unhuman again.
I think this is a good juncture to point something out. So like people, we've talked off the air a little bit, after party thing where listeners could listen in about the problems you're having trying to get a video card right now, a new video card, because you have the new NVIDIA video cards, the 3000 series and the 6000 series on AMD, and you just can't get them because supposedly everybody's using them for crypto mining. But the thing is, so what it's forcing people to do is these people who are avid gamers are being forced into getting the Xbox, the new Xbox, as well as new PlayStation 5, because you're getting the same kind of processor, right? Essentially, power in their gaming, console. So, isn't that interesting? That it's almost like there is a deliberate drive to get people to go get these devices because they're cheaper by far than your video card is. For the price of your 3090 or 3080 video card from NVIDIA, you could buy an Xbox, maybe a PlayStation 5 too, right? And it's much more readily available. Well, is there an ulterior motive for that? And I think we're showing you why there might be.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That I didn't even think of that. But yeah, I mean, it would make sense. It would Bill Gates would love to sell you another Xbox and the subscription that goes with it, right?
Well, we're coming up on a break. We got about 2 minutes. Go ahead.
All right, so.
Because there will be another pandemic, and there's so many lessons about.
All right, so now he's talking about there's going to be another pandemic, and he says, while I was in the cell, lead a monster in. Look, he made me. We're not evil. We're succubi.
Well, I was in the cell, lead a monster in the pandemic, and there's so many lessons about. Well, I was in the cell, lead a monster in the
And then it's we're not evil, we're succubi.
We're not evil, we're succubi.
Well, that's pretty profound. I mean, I heard the "we're not evil" part, and I heard the "we're succubi" part. And what that means is they're siphoning your energy. Just the very concept of the very thing we were just talking about prior, coincidentally, in the porn industry previously, about how that's a deliberately targeted thing to take away that creative energy that's in society, would be making society flourish away from people and channel it into some other nebulous world where it's being used by somebody else.
It sends it into the nowhere. The seed goes unsown and the energy goes nowhere. And creative energy, the energy expended in the orgasm without any creative aspect to it is a waste. And that was where man fell from the Garden of Eden, according to the Gnostics. That's when we fell from the fourth to the third dimension and we were let out of the Garden of Eden. Mom's Jimmy. It's bottom of the hour. We only got 30 minutes left. Here's some Cole Porter for you.
Times have changed, and we've often rewound the clock since the Puritans got the shock when they landed on Plymouth Rock. If today any shock they should try to stem, instead of landing on Plymouth Rock would land on them. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking, but now God knows anything goes. Good authors too, who once knew better words, now only use four-letter words, writing prose. Anything goes. If driving fast cars you like, if low bars you like, if old hymns you
All right,
like,
there we
if
go.
bare limbs you like, if
We're out.
you like, or me and
That was for Smurfer. Smurfer girl said she liked Cole Porter. Hey, Marty, you're still here? Fantastic. What's going on, Brandy? What's going on, Bernays? What's going on, Rusty Swords? Zoe, hi, nice to see y'all. Hanging out. John's still here. Bella's here somewhere. So we got about 30 minutes left there, boys.
Oh, I got enough to fill it up. So if you want to just roll with this,
excellent. Let me get some music to come back with. Come on and jump in here, Epic.
Yeah, Epic, talk for a minute. I gotta.
Well, there's some talk in the YouTube chat. And sorry for the people over in Revolution Radio can't see it. We're talking about the idea of siphoning off energy through the succubus in the feminine form, and I was bringing up the incubus in the masculine form, and that's exactly what this is. It's a spiritual warfare that takes the creative power of mankind away from them through their sexual energy. And in the case of magicians and sorcerers of the past, they used that energy to enchant, right? To siphon that off to enchant. So it empowers things like their sigils. Right, so like when they create a sigil, which is a relatively recent thing, Alexandrian magic and some other things, they would enchant their sigil through the power of sexual energy.
Well, bring this up when we come back, because it said succubi, and will you play that succubi one again, Rhea?
I think it's gone for the moment, but no, that's totally relevant to what we're talking about, 100%. And it ties into a lot of other things we're talking about, too. That ties directly into the Polanski stuff we're talking about, too.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. Okay, hang on. I'm getting something ready here. Hang on. Okay. We're going to go back. Here we go.
Okay.
Play that succubus one again when we come back so Epic can do his succubus, incubus thing he was just doing. Hang on a second. Here we go. Get ready. My name's Jimmy. We only got 29 minutes left. It's Revolution Radio. It's Into the Microcosm. It's This Week in Reverse with Rock and Rio. Talking about chair dancing right now. How can you not? You got to keep on dancing, keep on dancing. 28 people in the chat, all kinds of stuff going on. Looks like there's about to be a fight, a brawl breaking out. Wild Bob's going wild over there in the chat room. Head on over, become a patron. That's how we stay alive all day and all night long. All night. Oh. Such a happy tune, Rio. I'm bringing you back with some happy tunes because the Bill Gates is singing like a canary over there in the coal mine. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and there's more, and there's actually some more stuff that's relevant to what we were discussing earlier, coming up with this.
Sweet.
But I will redo that last one once again because I'm sure Epic has something to say about it.
Yeah, the succubus one. That one's interesting. Go ahead.
Because there will be another pandemic, and there's so many lessons about business.
Because there will be
evil were succubi.
They're succubi.
That's so significant because what a succubus is draining the psychic and sexual energy of a human being. According to like old school, we're talking Enochian magic things and, old time ideas of what magic meant. The people who wrote to Goetia, right, thought that a succubus, was this female entity that took the male energy away and siphoned it off to use it to empower and enchant magic spells. So the male version of that is the incubus, and the incubus impregnated the female form, right, with an idea that would be enchanted and carried by the female, just like we talked a little bit about brood parasites, that idea of the brood parasite. So that you'd put that in the womb of the woman, in her mind, her spiritual sense, and that would be carried on. So the incubus implants, and the succubus takes away and uses that energy, and so this is pretty profound, actually. That somebody would say something like that, reverse intentional or not, because what these are, like in Alexandrian magic and some of the magic systems before that, they would use the idea of sexual energy to charge sigils. Sigils are a relatively recent thing, and you make the sigils and you charge them with energy, and the ideal form of energy was sexual energy, and so this is something that profoundly came out in the 60s and 70s through music. To our music, right? And so this is it's very significant in my opinion that would be something accidental or on purpose, subconsciously or consciously, Bill Gates would say.
Rio, please continue.
All right, yeah. So let me roll the forward here, and then I'll give you the backward.
How we weren't prepared, how we should have handled things differently, and when that's clearly in our mind, those investments need to be made.
All right, so now in reverse, he's going to say, male perfection is lamented. Yes, she knew I'd rape her. We were hot.
Yeah, maybe the instant upside in this one. Those investments need to be made.
You mentioned being ready for the next time.
Yeah, maybe the instant upside in this one. Those investments
I'm sorry.
need to be made.
This one is. Hear me begin to start sliding the sword. Virus in the arm. I'll nail us. Sign up. Who'll sign it? And then it'll say the male perfection is lamented at the end.
Yeah, maybe the instant upside in this one. Yeah, I'm running loose. Sign the.
Virus in the arm. We'll nail it. Sign up.
Oh, sorry. Nail. Our fixing it. When I have a shoe, how we should.
There it is. Male perfection is lamented.
Could handle things differently and nail our fixing it when I have a shoe. We were hot.
She knew I'd rape her. We were hot. So, Bill Gates is a little bit on the dark side, the kinky side.
Yeah, to say the least.
All right, so give me a second here, and I'll cue up the next part.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, don't forget we're listener supported. You can become a patron. There's a donate button. You can go to the Zazzle store. There's all kinds of items there that you might be interested in. And we really appreciate it. That's the only way we stay on the air. Mom's Jimmy. It's the Week in Reverse with Rock and Rio. It's the Whispers.
Just like my love everlasting. The beat goes on. Still moving strong. On and on. Do you ever wonder? Got to win, somebody's got to lose. I might as well get over the blues. Just like fishing in the ocean, there'll always be someone.
The Whispers, boy. It's hard to take that. It's hard to stop, but I will. Because we got to hear it.
That was a great tune, man.
I know. I love that song, man. Go ahead.
All right, so this will be the host now, Ari Melber, talking for a second. He's got an interesting reversal here, and Bill Gates' response to it is also interesting.
You mentioned being ready for the next time, and you warned about this last time. Let's take a brief look at a 2015 warning you issued.
Issuing your own need for this,
It says, issuing your own need for this, and I've boosted it.
Look at a 2015 warning you issued. Issuing your own need for this,
It says, all fear what gets the masks out, saved by the no.
All fear what gets the masks out, saved by the no.
And then, so let me skip forward a little bit here to Bill's response. All right, so here we go.
If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus. If we start now.
All right, so he's going to say, seraphs possess me. We are hybrids. If we absorb it, Snake had me scanning it.
Why? To be a highly infectious virus. Seraphs possess me, we are hybrids. If we absorb it, Snake had me scanning it. So, it's kind of fascinating. A seraph is, of course, a form of angel or demon. And what? Let me jump up here to the next one. It's a few seconds away, actually. So he's going to, he's still talking about the vaccine and stuff.
The U.S. gets a low score because the understanding of how to get diagnostics up to scale early.
So now in reverse, he's going to say, how do you like my new nature now? Feed, suck it raw. Solo, the snakes are we.
Healer likes us, you song yet. Understanding of how to get.
How do you like my new nature now?
Feed, suck it raw. Solo.
Feed, suck it raw.
Snakes are we.
The snakes are
the U.S. gets snakes are we. The U.S. gets a low score because the understanding of how to get diagnostics up to scale early to stop the exponential spread. If that had been done well, we would have been more like an Australia or a South Korea.
Now, here's the next interesting part of this reversal. He says, a higher class, a royal heir's son. Hail our omnipotent. We want them wanting to live without money.
If that had been done well, we would have been more like an Australia or a South Korea.
So I guess he considers himself part of the elite, obviously, but he wants everybody else to live without money. And next one is it's going to take me a second to jump to.
No problem. I'm ready. You know what? I'm ready because you know what? This is a fantastic voyage you got us on, man.
It's live, it's all the way live. Don't even have to walk, don't even have to drive. Just slide, slip it, slide. Just forget about the troubles in your mind and fire and just sail on. That's what you do, just sail on. Now this dude's so funky, hey, what do you think? What is it called? It's called a lakeside stank. Come along and ride on a fantastic voyage. I'm the captain of this vessel. We wanna take you on a cruise all around the land. Music is at hand. We wanna play it for you. You see, we want to be a crew of entertainers. Jam to the music, to the beat. Jam, yeah. Don't let nothing restrain you. We just want you to feel nothing but pleasure.
All right, man. Continue with the fantastic voyage, my man.
All right, so I'll roll the forward so you can hear what he's saying, and then this is kind of an interesting reverse because he calls out Joe Biden and calls him an imbecile.
There's one category we did well, which was getting R&D money out to the vaccine companies. The U.S. was the biggest at that.
was the biggest at that.
Says Biden is an imbecile.
That's a good imbecile.
So we thought, seeing a buck, he's scamming us.
So we thought, seeing a fucking scabbard.
Seeing a buck and he's scamming us. And then it says, try it on me. You're all idiots. Don't you want it? Here we organized. Know it.
Got so did well, which was getting R&D money out. Got so
And then let me jump up to Ari Melber here, where he's talking again.
Specific. You're very.
Oops, sorry about that.
You're very specific in your work and the letter about what should come next. You talk about a global alert system.
All right, so now here Ari Melber is going to really reveal himself as a perv. He's going to say, my sister, a little girl that I've accosted, can't mock this. Will make her whine in your face observing. And this is pretty clear, so it's on the edge of disturbing.
My sister Lullable that I'm cautious and mock the snow wabber and if it's observing.
I'll do that one again.
You're very specific in your work and the letter about what should come next. You talk about a global alert system.
My sister Lullable that I'm cautious.
My sister, a little girl that I've accosted.
And mock this.
Can't mock this.
No wabber if it's observing.
Now I will make her whine in your face observing. Kind of shows just how creepy these people are.
Sick. So the chat room over at revolution.radiofreedomslips.com is stoked on your reversals. They're all hearing it, so you're doing a great job tonight. You really sort of narrowed it down to getting these small bites that we can actually hear. Continue, please.
Yeah, well, it's easy when these guys talk very clearly in reverse. Some of this stuff is, there's ones that are hard to pull out and some that are easy. And, I guess the well-practiced mages make it real easy to understand what they're saying.
Yeah, especially since you had pointed out that there's a point where he says, let's stop talking in reverse, and it goes garbled after that. Go ahead.
All right, let me... I got one more good one on this, and
all right, this isn't your David Oates reverse speech, ladies and gentlemen. This is some heinous shit that's going on here, man. Bill Gates. Now you said you had a little bit of Fauci too. You got a little bit of Fauci because we got about 15 minutes left. So
I just have to add that's the best saying of all time. It's going to catch on. It's going to be a meme in the future. And I don't even mean one way or the other politically. I got some Fauci for you.
I got some Fauci for you.
You got some? Yeah. You got us some Fauci?
I do have some Fauci too.
Yeah, I heard Oates with some Fauci, and the Oates Fauci was horrifying. Fauci is in reverse. Man, what he's dropping in reverse on some of the stuff that Oates did, it's super intense, man. It's no good. Stay away.
Well, the last one I want to give you with Bill Gates, it says, certain officers serve disease. It's just heavy. And he's talking about getting the shot here. So,
infectious disease first responders and germ games. Certain officers serve disease. It's just heavy.
Certain officers serve disease. It's just heavy. So that's that's Ari Melber and Bill Gates. They're discussing the vaccine
system
and the next pandemic, and that's So let's move on to Dr. Fauci, since he's got some interesting stuff going here too. Just give me a second here to cue this one up. Play a song real quick there, Jimmy, while I get this cued.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm just dealing with something else. I'll help you in a minute. Don't forget, stay tuned for Late Night with Jerryberry's coming up right after Into the Microcosm, and we'll be back Monday at 3 o'clock Pacific. My name's Jimmy. It's Into the Microcosm. Rockin' Rio's going wild, man. California.
That's right. Now make it shake. Shake it, Cali. Shake it, Cali. West Coast.
There's some real interesting dialogue from Tupac about Dr. Dre and some of the extras on the making of California Love video. Dr. Dre.
Yeah. All right, so you ready for the Fauci? We've only got like 3 minutes left here, so I'm
Go
just
ahead, man. Let
gonna
her
whip
rip.
through this one. Here's the forward.
If you compare now to what we were doing just literally a month ago, the escalation has really been considerable. I would imagine, and in fact, I'm fairly certain that as we get into and towards the end of April, you'll see some of the implementation of what you just showed, namely feeling in.
All right, so he's gonna say now in reverse. He's gonna say horse shiza. Disturbance is now believe man must cease slowly. Warfare, the night is loose now. I will sneak in and you said it.
You'll see some of the.
Man will cease slowly. This is where he says, warfare in the night, I will sneak in and you said it.
And towards the end of April,
Next thing it says,
Mercy Life.
Mercy Life not happening in the sham. But oh yeah, I'll burn us. Nobody believes I'm a shill. Excited.
Fairly certain. Mercy Life.
There's Mercy Life.
Imagine, and in fact, I'm fairly
Mercy Life not happening in the sham. But oh yeah, I'll burn us. Nobody believes I'm a shill.
The escalation has really been. Nobody
believes I'm a shill.
No, but we're out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot, Rockin' Rio. Say goodbye, Rockin' Rio. Say goodbye, Epic Journeyman. I see Zach Wild's coming out of the room. He's coming out.
Escalation has really.
Aloha, everybody.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
You know where the after party's at, but stay tuned for Jer Bear.
You say that you're damned. You say that your life isn't fair. What's right and what's wrong? You got your needs and you just don't care. On and on we drift back to where we were before. You can welcome me in. I will not walk through that door. Oh, no, no. I may be blind, but I'll find my way. Oh, yeah, like a lost prayer on a stormy day. Oh, stormy day. You can carry your grudge. I've severed these ties.
All right, there we go, man. We made it out.
Yeah.
So
We did. Right? I mean, yeah, it was hard coming in because we didn't know how it was going to turn out with so little time to prep. But
I didn't get
I think that we
I didn't get a scratch on me.
But
right
you know what,
on,
Jimmy?
right on. We'll do it more often then.
You know, we talked about the fish earlier.
We don't.
It still does smell like fish in here. Hey, it looks,
That commercial is a Lysol commercial from 1986.
Is it?
And I actually went to school with the little girl in the commercial, and I still talk to her from time to time, even now, 40 years later. So, but it's still comical to hear the ew, it smells like fish in here. Then she goes, no, now it smells like fish and roses.
so I don't know, Marty. You just put I don't know. I have this thing that's it's PayPal me, and it's a link, but I can't get to the link because I can't change my password in PayPal. So I went to try to change my password, but they won't let me change it because when I
'Cause you have accepted things from the other thing. Right. I think it was Gmail on my side before. Same thing. You have it right, and it was Gmail and on mine. And once it's registered, it'll show a picture of you with the G3 Technologies.
Yeah,
if you
so,
get that, it's right.
But that email address that I just gave in there is the one that directly goes to it. That's the one I started.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
couldn't change my password because the phone number that I had when I originally got my PayPal, I don't have that phone anymore, and it was a work phone, and I don't remember the number. And if you don't remember the phone number, the phone that you started your PayPal account with, they won't let you in. They will not let you change your password. It's impossible. So there's nothing I can do. I can't send you the link. I can just give you my email address. That's
Right. I can send Jimmy email money right now on PayPal, but it's the same thing. I can't access the original link either. It just comes with G3 Technologies.
so you just type in ENEGUENNOYLF at iCloud.com, and now you don't have the phone number. You type in the ENEGUENNYLF at iCloud.com, because that's the only email address associated with that, as far as I know. Unless the other Jimmy Jean 27 at Gmail's in there, but I mean that was a secondary email address, and I don't think it's in there.
Yeah, it definitely looks like so. What Marty's saying is it looks some bald dude No, that's not him. No. It looks just like him right now. Exactly. You can't miss it. It's right, and it's G3 with a space. It's not G3 in one word.
Yeah, it's just G3, and then you'll see me wearing sunglasses. Yeah, I'm sure, Brandy. I am sure. Anyways, we'll see, because I know it works because I gave somebody that email address and they sent some support just the other day. So, for some reason, I don't know. For some reason, certain people can't seem to get it. I don't know why.
Maybe you're shadow banned in certain areas.
I don't know, man.
We laugh about it, but that's how detailed it's going to be. Like how granular it's going to get in the future. It is going to get to that point. We're not there yet, but it is going to get to that point if we don't stop it. I mean, I think that we're in such a great place right now to do something about it, but nobody knows about it. It's such a problem. Our listeners do. You guys all know. You gals all know. Right, but I mean, for the average public, they have no idea this is going on. So it's Go ahead.
Zoe says she said something, which she did, and well, what do you put in when you go to PayPal, Zoe? Type it in there so other people could see it, because I'm pretty sure you're sending it to that same email address. But
I think I have your PayPal stuff here too. I might be able to pull it up.
Yeah, man, because for some reason, I can't. I don't understand why. And I'm sorry I'm even talking about this for so long now. I can't, man. You don't understand.
Well, people are asking about it. Yeah. For me, it's like it's just G3 Technologies, because I've already interfaced on that, so it doesn't show me the subscript. You know what I mean? I can't go back and see what the email or whatever.
Hey,
is
Alan.
Now. It shows me that.
Alan Holman's here. Hey, it's good to see you, Alan. Nice to see you here, man. Yeah, like I said, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. There's a thing that when I go to my PayPal, when I go behind, I can't get in there, so I can't get the thing that's like the PayPal me. It's just a link. It says PayPal me, and you just click on it, it goes to it. But I can't get it because I have to go in behind my password to go in there to get that thing. So I can't do that. So the only thing I can do is give out the email address, and for some reason it works for some people, and for other reasons it doesn't work for other people. See, she types in G3 Technology and it just goes there. But she's been supporting the show for a long time, so I mean, I don't know. Maybe something's changed. I don't know. Thanks for all your support too, Zoe, by the way. All through in the when we got evacuated and all that. Really appreciate it. Really helped out. So thank you, and thanks to everybody who does support, man. I'm sorry I don't say anything about it. I just feel weird about even talking about it, and now I've talked about it for too long.
Well, it's important because people are trying to reach you, and so I do know the G3 Technology team works. And once you have it, it just always comes up on PayPal. The thing about PayPal is, once you have that link, it just shows whatever the guy's picture is, girl's picture is, and that particular thing. It doesn't. You can't like click on it and show you the subscript of what it originally was, the email address or whatever. This is as far as I can tell. So yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah, and it's like me with sunglasses on. It's just, you can't see my face really. It's just. All you see is sunglasses. It's a little round dot with my sunglasses. You can't really even see my face. I don't know. Anyhow, so we made it out unscathed. It looks like people enjoyed the first part of the show that we were talking about.
Yeah, well, it's an important show, and actually, we couldn't have planned it better and executed better, I don't think. I mean, it's important stuff, and because people, it's an adult themed show, so obviously we have to have it, 18 plus, whatever, maybe. I don't know if it's 18 plus even, but R-rated basically. But basically, these are important things, and the forefront of technology, people, really is, unfortunately, porn. It really is like applying to people's base instincts. This is what technology is geared to fulfill first, to get it to roll out the fastest way possible. and that's what's happening. And it's been going on for a while. Well, for time immemorial, really. Going back, we're talking about Sports Illustrated, right, and Playboy. And we're going to talk about Playboy next week, I think. So, it's a worthy enterprise to talk about, and it's something everybody should know about. But at the same time, it is a heady subject. It really is. So it's not just space. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this show that we did tonight should be part of the conversation for next Thursday show for the Aftermath Media.
I think so. There's a lot there that's going to tie directly in. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really sweet of you, Zoe. Zoe sent a big donation in when the fires were happening because we were displaced for a period of time, and it was really helpful. So I really appreciate that, Zoe. So yeah, what were you saying, Epic? I'm sorry, I totally spaced me out because I was reading the chat there and I got sidetracked.
Well, yeah, that's what happens. We get sidetracked with the chat, of course, and why not? Because the chatters are so great.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
yeah.
You guys being here is also very supportive, just so you know. I mean, it really means a lot. If you guys weren't here and we were just doing this for nothing, for no reason, it wouldn't be as good. So we appreciate...
The theme of the show tonight was energy, right? The theme of the show is about energy, whether it gets siphoned off and where it goes. And that's huge because live action, man, we just saw it. The show wouldn't be what it was without you all here. And it's your energy that made it happen, because it probably wouldn't happen without it, right? So it's live radio is interesting that way because it makes a difference. It truly does.
I do consider that a blessing, and I do thank you and God for that. Support from everybody, and really that was a meaningful support. And like I said, we don't tip, nobody, we don't typically ask for anything either. So I appreciate that very much. I just don't, I mean, it's hard to express how much it means to us to do the show for you guys. And hey, what's up, Joe? Celtic Rebel did a series on Playboy magazine in 2016. I remember a little bit of about what you're talking about. He did a whole thing. I know. Well, Joe, just tell the Rebel, man, we want to have him on, man. I mean, he's got the thing he did on the zombie B movies. The zombie B movies being a take off of society. He did a whole series on these B movies, zombie, directors and stuff. Really good. So I was trying to get him on about that, and so.
So Sam Romero's social engineer. It might be.
I used to go over there on when he has a show on Sundays. I used to go over there in the chat, and we talk about him coming on. I went over there for a year straight. Saying, hey man, you gonna come on? And then it got to be funny after 2 years.
Have you ever heard the Dawn of the Dead soundtrack? It's freaking good, man. It is really good. Like someday we're gonna have to play that in the background. It's really good.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things, like we're talking about social engineering all the time, but that particular soundtrack, because Dawn of the Dead was just them in the shopping mall. It's a color version of Night of the Living Dead, right? But that with the music is a social engineering, total commercial, if you want to call it that, or weaponized piece of film. It is. But the music, it is actually good. Like if you just heard it right now, you'd be tripping out about it. You'd listen to it, especially if you're stoned. You get into it. It's like, it's very captivating.
If I was stoned.
Yeah, right. Well, so right now, you really get into it. No, not just you, the audience in general. I'm telling you, this is one of those things that, it'll catch you right away.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are you guys up to? You guys want to hang around for a bit, or are you gonna get going? What do you?
Either way, it's up to you.
It's up to you. You guys want to hang?
I know it was cold and chilly there, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay for now. I'm not gonna do anything but go to sleep, but I do gotta go get it some ice. Yeah, that's the Rebels, Chatango. That's his chat room. Yeah.
Chat Tango. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I'm all good here. You know what we should do? We should play that
So
soundtrack.
it might you
If
might
we're
just
if we're gonna go for a little bit, play that Dawn of the Dead soundtrack a little bit.
hang on a second, Marty. So if it says G3 technology, but you don't see my picture, I think the first time you go there, you don't see a picture. Maybe, I don't know. I know when I made a couple donations to shows, that when I made the donation the first time, I didn't see the picture. I just saw like a dot with nothing there. And then the second time I went, then I saw a picture. So I don't know what to do. But anyway, there it is. So what do you guys want to do? Let me go grab some ice. I need to get something to drink, man. My throat is parched.
I gotta go see a man about a horse, so to speak. But yeah, if we can come back with that music, maybe that'd be interesting, just to carry on the conversation a little bit, because I do think that now we can look at those kind of things and see what they really were.
Hang on a second.
Oh, I see Alan popped into the chat room.
Yeah. Hang on.
Hello, Alan. And good night, Dry Fly Guy.
What's up, Alan?
No, John. That's it for tonight, I think. I've got a few more things I'll look at for the future. A few people dropped me some links of things to check out, so I'll get on that. But
yeah,
that's all I had ready for now.
All right, hang tight here. I'm gonna go get something to drink. Here comes some. Here's what Epic wanted to talk about here. Did you ever find that link, Rio? No.
I found I don't have a link to you. I can just click on you and.
Well, can you click on it and then see what's up in the address bar?
Yeah, it says, my PayPal account, transfer homepage, and then like some big long crypto key.
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna get something to drink.
I don't know where we ended up there, but yeah, I mean, the thing about that song, or that soundtrack, as I didn't hear the whole thing, is that it's your heartbeat. It's your heartbeat, and it's meant to be hypnotic, and it's meant to be listened to as you're like going to sleep.
Oh
Or
yeah,
for the
well it
theater,
was kind of trippy. I was sitting here like zoning into it in a way.
Yeah, because it's see, this is I learned this because I was going to get EEG scans at the time, and because I thought I might have narcolepsy. They don't have narcolepsy, don't worry, people. But they thought I might, and so I was taking these sleep deprived EEGs back in the 80s. I had to go and I had to deprive myself of sleep for 48 hours, or whatever. I'd go in there and get this stuff. And so I heard this song, like this soundtrack for the first time. I didn't even see the movie back then. And the thing is that it dawned on me, because they're trying to monitor your brain waves, right? That's what it is. And it's about syncopating the way that it ties into your biorhythms. That particular piece we just listened to is your heartbeat, and it's the swells are actually like your breaths in and out in a sleep breath state, and then it goes with the stuff on top of it, right? That's actually freaking brilliant, and it's not meant to be a B movie, sci-fi horror movie. That's engineering. It is. It is. It absolutely is. No, in my mind, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Like I could feel the heartbeat in the tune there. So that definitely makes sense. And yeah, a lot of music is engineered that way to modify your heart rate and your brain function. So make it relax, or wake you up and make you peppy.
Yeah. So the layering in terms of the movie, though, right, is it's zombies coming into the mall, right? They're coming into this mall. It's Day of the Dead, right? Or it's Night of the Living Dead. It's after it's a color version, and so these zombies are coming into the mall, and yeah, I mean, what a weird thing to do to lull you into a semi-hypnotic state for it, right?
Well, but they do that a lot in the movies where they use the buildup of the music to to give you the fright or the scare, the sudden movement or whatever. So it would make sense that they would get you to the slow mellow point right before they bring the peak back up, and kind of make you jump out of your chair.
Right, it's deliberate. In other words, it's deliberate.
Well, my drummer Jeff Greenback he used to play off heartbeat kick drum beats in our songs. It throws you off, because especially it's like 4/4 is like a heartbeat, and so these offbeats. John Bonham was really good at that. That's why part of the reason Led Zeppelin's music was so magical was John Bonham's drumming.
Yeah, well, the kick drum, that dump 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 dump. That's a very that beat is used a lot in high energy songs, like and they pick up the pace. It also makes your heart rate increase. So it would make sense that if they're playing an off time especially on the kick, that it would throw you a little out of whack, or change your mood, or change your feeling.
Yeah, I used to go to this when I lived down in Los Angeles on full moons. There was this Gnostic center, and they had this it's like this outdoor patio area. It was all walled in, but there was no roof. But it was all walled in, and you come in and you give them $20, and when you come in, you give them $20, and there's all these drums everywhere on the floor, laying all over the place, and you just grab yourself a drum and you go out, and there's this whole drum circle going on, and it was like they would have these giant tables of fruit, like all you could eat fruit came with your $20. So you got a drum and then fruit, and then you would sit around in a circle and drum, and it was intense, man. It was really fun. I used to go there quite a bit. I quit going there when I went one time, and they had brought this African dude in there, and he was sort of like leading the rhythms and stuff. You know what I mean? Because it gets trance-like after a while when you're drumming.
Well, that's kind of the whole point of that drum circle thing. Is that's where where it originally came from, was the African dances to excite the spirits, as it were.
Yeah. So they had this African dude, and he was speaking some language, and I didn't know what it was, man. And he wanted everybody to like chant along with what he was saying. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. I don't know what he's saying, so I wasn't like willing to join in, and also be drumming and be involved. I mean, I kind of I blew out.
It puts you off, right? Because you don't know what you're giving your energy to.
Mm-hmm. I blew out. Bye, Marty.
I had a friend. I was a kid at the time. I was a preteen, probably 11 years old, and he was the drummer at the African Experience at Wild Animal Park in San Diego. He was like the main guy, like exactly the kind of guy you're talking about. And his wife was like on PBS all the time, talking about that shows and stuff. He lived upstairs from me, and I was friends with their kids. And so yeah, his name was Win. Winnie, you call him Winnie. This was Winnie and Kim were the husband and wife. And so he was this guy. He had this like scar, his big scar across his head because he had a cracked skull when he was a youngster. And it never knew where that cracked skull came from. But he put on the native outfit for the drum experience at Wild Animal Park and go totally into what you're talking about, the leading the whole thing, it was his whole experience, right? He was really good. He was fantastic at it. I got to go to Wild Animal Park all the time to see him for free because he was the performer, right? And the thing is that, like you're saying, I don't know what he's talking about in Swahili, So are you? It didn't really bother me, but at the same time, it's like if I was a drum circle kind of guy, like because that's kind of a spiritual thing. I don't know if I'd partake either if I don't know what I'm partaking in. You know what I mean? What I'm contributing my energy to. I think it's wise to lay back if you don't know what you're, contributing to.
I laid back and I left, but I never went back either because I left Los Angeles. But it was a moment, and I used to have fun going there, like I said, with the fruit and everything. It was nice, man. It was cool. But so what are you guys up to now? Are you doing more reverse speech, Rio, or what are you up to?
He said he was done for now.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't hear him.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything left to go. No, he's here. I think he's.
I'm sorry. I was talking with my mute button on. I don't have anything else really ready to roll at this point. I just I did the Gates and the Fauci, and that was kind of it.
Nice. Well, I'm ready to go get myself a turkey sandwich in the house.
Turkey sounds good.
Yeah, man. I'm going to go get me some turkey. I'm going to go take me a nap and get up tomorrow and do it all over again, hopefully. Hopefully it'll work out that way.
Yeah, you always want it to, but it never seems to, right?
Yeah.
I had so much to do today, and I only got half of it done. And I'm like, I ended up crashing out a little early. Actually, I crashed out on you guys the other night. That was...
No, it was awesome. We knew.
We were railing.
You weren't storing lifetime or anything, so it was all good. We figured it out. We're like, oh, okay.
Epic and I were railing though for like 45 minutes, man. I'm sure it put your ass to sleep.
Well, it was funny because I knew I was tired that day, and I think we talked about it, and I said, yeah, I'll try to stay up and do it, by the time we actually got the whole thing rolling, it was just too late, and I couldn't do it, man. I sat there and it was like an off switch. Boop, it was done. That was it. It was over.
Yeah. Well,
and I didn't wake up till the next morning either. I slept straight through.
Well, listen, man, I had to sit there on Thursday morning because I was so tired on Wednesday night that I couldn't do anything, and I just sit there. I got up at 5 a.m. and edited that show until noon. Fucking took me 6 hours, man, to do 60 minutes.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I get that. Even doing these reverse speeches, that 3 minutes of Bill Gates was probably 3 or 4 hours worth of work. Just to stop it, write it all down.
I know.
You know,
It's easily a ×5 of anything you do, and ×10 if you really focus. No joke. Yeah. People don't understand. Like to make a 2-hour movie is hundreds of hours.
I know. It's fucking.
or,
so
or
I
even
had
doing.
So the reason I was telling you that, not because I was making a big deal about it, but what I was doing was telling you. So this week we got to make sure when we record the show, it can't be on Wednesday night, man, because there's not enough time. It has to be on Tuesday, so I have all day Wednesday to do it and then turn it in, so I'm not under pressure. So we got to try to record Tuesday night if we can. It has to be the night if you can. Is that a bad night for you or what?
Well, we go. Monday's a holiday, so Monday afternoon might be a good time. I mean,
yeah, I mean, we could do it this Monday. It doesn't matter to me, but we got to do the main show at 3:00 on Monday.
Right. So you're gonna be tired because if we don't get to contribute live time, I'm gonna come after. Then it'll be after post show.
Well,
you might be tired from that.
Rio said he's working on Monday.
Yeah, I'm working Monday.
I actually have that one off, but we'll see if it happens.
All right. Well, so you have it off. So just plan on doing the 3:00 show on Monday, and then Rio, can you do the recording at Monday night?
Yeah, as long as it's not 11 o'clock.
No, we'll just do.
Well, you know.
Well, what time? So what time will we have to do? So the main show's over at 5. So that's 8 your time.
Yeah, 8 my time. So that's actually, if you just want to roll right after that, I probably will get home around 8 my time on Monday.
Either that or we could do it on Sunday.
Yeah, that would work too.
All right, let's figure it out. I don't care when we do it. Just I don't want to do it the day 12 hours before
right?
I got to turn it in.
It caught me by surprise too because I thought we were going to use the recorded stuff from the week before.
I haven't even listened to that shit.
Yeah. Well,
I know it was good.
My normal bedtime is 9 o'clock. So
I'm just saying. I mean
9 Eastern. That's about usually when I start dropping off.
I'm just saying I haven't. I mean, we did that 4-hour show. I didn't even listen to any of it.
Well, that's what I thought we were rolling with a little bit too. So yeah.
No,
but it ended up being really good. So we led into Laurel Canyon and Playboy, and so I think that if we can make that linkage without getting caught up in Laurel Canyon too much, but to end up on Playboy strong, yeah, we got a good thing going right there because that's a couple shows after
I didn't even. I started at the beginning and just worked until I had the show. So I had 60 minutes. So I didn't even, the rest of what was on there we did on YouTube after the show was over. There was another hour of shit on the show that was over that I didn't even get to. There was a lot of shit in there that I didn't even put on the show because 60 minutes, man, it's not a long time, man. You know, and there was in that show, that hour, there was so much information in that last show packed in that 60 minutes. It's literally fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, I think we're in a really good spot. Like nobody's talked about how Laurel Canyon was the hideaway before. You know what I mean? The hill was this hideaway. You had to have a trolley to go up to. It was like this enclave. You know, you had to have your own personal transportation. So all those people who went up there that lived there in the music time. The people who were contemporary of what was going on later on with Manson and stuff, when Manson came down there, not to Laurel Canyon, but in the other canyon, Topanga Canyon, and then the other canyons. Yeah, it's all right there. And so once you know that, right, like this was this intelligence community enclave in the case of Laurel Canyon and Lookout Mountain, and then how that ties into exactly the same time frame as other things going on. And if we can link the two together, it's going to be really good, I think, because we've led that from the last episode into this episode, but it's going to be really hard not to linger on Laurel Canyon too much. And I don't know if we want to. I think we should maybe mention the people who were there, right, and make the transition. But it's going to be hard. I don't know. There's so much interesting things there. It really is interesting. I mean, David Gahan read the whole book about it.
Yeah, it's hard to not get caught up. All right, you guys ready to go? Because I got to get going, man. I'm starving like Marvin.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to a snack myself right now.
Yeah, man. All right, well.
I got Captain Crunch rolling, man. I got Captain Crunch, man. You guys should be jealous.
Oh, I'm not jealous because I got Frosted Flakes. and fruit,
Bastard.
and I got fruit, and I got Fruit Loops,
Come
man.
on, you guys know better to eat that stuff, man.
I got Fruit Loops. Hey, man.
Well, he's got the Frosted Flakes. That's the year of the tiger. I don't have any year thing going for Chinese year. I just got the R of Captain Crunch going.
Arr, we're the new pirates.
Oh, man. I'm about to drop, man. I'm so tired. Let's go, man. I gotta go.
All right.
Thanks,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody.
We'll talk to you later, eh? We'll see you Sunday for sure, but have a good night.
Feet down, brother, check it out. I'm about to throw down. Dick in hand, this shit that has you turned down. A little city, chilling in the North Bay. Needless to say, my boys don't play, fool. You're beside, and you know how the song goes. In the back, sipping purple chongos. Don't look for trouble, but it always seems to find us. 40 gripping, panties, sipping, and the seats are right behind us. Quick left, one blow, KO. Hit the road to the next episode. In the saga of a few fellas. Oh, what the hell? I guess I better tell ya. It's Friday night, I got a brand new kit on. A fetterheen for me to get bent on. Hit the country club to pick up ML 80 West. Back to the hotel. I want you slow down. Park the ride in the front like a sick one. Just in case, we gotta bust a quick one. Lock the loaders, we'll look for like 118. But lay low, cause I really don't wanna be seen. Is this the one? Oh yeah, that's the right one. I got the black button, you